Welcome back on my YouTube channel Monday to Monday. This week we're going to continue with putting some temporarily insulation into the ceiling of the wheelhouse to prevent moisture from building up there. We're going to get this little boat to the junkyard, get this little boat to my house where I can restore it a bit, and we need to take out this boat because it's sinking, almost sinking every week. And I want to try to put some solar power back in the boat. Obviously with this kind of weather it doesn't help a bit, but we got sunny days and it keeps the batteries a little bit up to date. There are a lot of viewers who aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you like what you're seeing, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel because it helps me out a lot and it's free. So let's do that right now. My generator is running for half an hour now. The wheelhouse is warming up. The ceiling is still a little bit moist, so I'm going to wipe some of it off. I'm going to put some insulation over here because I don't want the dash to be wet when I'm not here. I don't have enough to tackle this piece of the roof as well, but it will fall on the floor and it's not a big problem. So alright, let's start this itchy work. That's in, and that was all I got. So only 2 little plates of insulation. I was very happy that I had my respirator because the previous episode that was a little bit too much. Alright, I'm going to leave the respirator on the boat so that I got it next time I'm here. But now I'm going home because I have to finish some other stuff and we got Sinterklaas tonight. That's a Dutch traditional, how you call it, like Christmas, only then the Dutch version. Alright, see you later. It's Monday, I'm back on the boat. Today I'm going to empty the bilge because there's some water in the bilge underneath me. I'm going to figure out with you guys what we're going to do with the rust in the wheelhouse, how I'm going to tackle this. And it's a little bit of a thingy because I'm a little bit stuck now. I'm going to explain later. There is some moisture, not too bad. I covered the equipment with a garbage bag and you see moisture. And where the rust is completely wet and I don't know where it's coming from. So it's leaking there. That's the biggest problem. That's the first thing we need to tackle. Or I need to tackle. Well, you can come if you like, but I probably have to tackle this. I'm getting a call. First I need to walk over to Dompie. There she is. Because my manual bilge pump is in Dompie. So I have to get it over there. And it gives me a chance to check everything out. I drained some bilge water out of this old girl over there. That's the forward bilge. There's some contamination in it, oil and junk. So I can't pump that overboard. What's underneath my feet is perfectly clean. So that's back in the water. The water is back in the water. But while I'm here, let's try a cold start. Let's see if she will run in the cold weather. Let's go. Okay, I have to improvise a little bit with my camera because I didn't bring the right stuff. So you guys are going onto that bucket so you can see how I'm going to try to start this old girl. Probably gonna be heavy. I smell exhaust fuel, so we have ignition at least. Woo! Wow, this is so heavy. She's almost there. Alright, still catching my breath, but let's take her out for a little spin. Wow, that's so heavy, but she starts and she runs. I thought let's put some diesel in this old girl. Let's see how much we used while motoring this boat to Den Helder and back and to the Amstelmeer and all the things we did. I'm really curious how much she will take. "36 liters of diesel fuel for all that fun." That's cool. So, she's not a thirsty girl. Okay, I'm going to pay the diesel now and then we're going to go back to the cutter, to the trawler. She has fuel now. The bilge is empty because they got a point here where you can suck out all the dirty bilge water. So she's ready for another fun trip, but now we're going to the trawler. We're back on the dock, our mooring. She's still in her work. So what I'm doing is attach the line on the back of the boat, point my rudder this way so that the front of the boat is going this way. Now she pushes herself against the dock and I got all the time to attach the front line, the line, the rope in the front. The front line is something else. And now I got all the time in the world. So now she's on and I just put her in neutral. There you go. That's how you do it. All right, shut down this engine. And the only reason I walked over to Dompie was this. I'm in the engine room, so we got some water in the bilge here as well because of condensation, and I don't know what is going on here. It's not really terrible, but it needs to go. So I'm going to pump it out, but first I'm going to show you what we're dealing with. This is the water. Here we got some oil in it. So I need to do this the proper way and bring this to the dump where they can filter it, or I don't know what they're doing with it. So only oil on this spot. Behind there is more oil. And here we got a little bit of water. The majority of the water is out. There's still some water in the bilge, but I ran out of jerry cans. I'm sitting here looking around. That's my generator. I don't know anything about this generator. It's a Mitsubishi 55 kilowatt hour. And it's always running, starting right up. It's not leaking oil as far as I can see, but I didn't took a real good look at it. So while I'm in here, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a look what it is, write down some numbers, and maybe I can do something with it. All right, back in the wheelhouse. I need to work on lighting down there because I got my studio lights with me and I saw so much now. You can see engine numbers and everything. So that's another thing on the list. A little bit more lighting down there. Clean it up because there's a lot of oil and old grease out of the prop shaft. That needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot of work. Another fun thing is, a lot of you commented that I need to get in contact with a company in Holland called De Haas. They imported the Detroit diesels into the Netherlands. I spoke to those guys. Real friendly, nice people. There is a good chance that they are coming to visit on the boat, check out the engine, check the filters, check everything, check, because I don't know and I want to know what I have. Okay, I think I'm going home. I'm smelly. And I need to take care of the kids. So, later. I am back on the boat. So, all the plans I had with removing the boats from the deck, it's not going to happen because I ran out of time. Tomorrow I'm going on vacation to the snow, snowboarding. Looking forward to that. So ran out of time. I have to move some more stuff for my parents. So my van is packed full to the roof. So that's not going to happen. But yesterday I read all your comments and I'm so happy with your comments. Come on guys. It helps me a lot. Really cool. So, a few of the comments. Let's start with the rotten wheelhouse. The comments were mainly about this. And I already reacted to you guys. A lot of good ideas. So, I have to make sure this is perfect again. I think it has something to do with everything. With moisture from the windows dripping down here. The seal here is open, so it can go down, so that's probably what's happening. Another thing is aluminum with stainless steel bolts in a steel frame. So with moisture, with water, that's not a good combination. So I think I'm going to, there are two things. Or I'm going to lift the whole wheelhouse up and put something in between the corners that it stays up, and I can adjust all the metal work that needs to be replaced. Or I just simply unbolt it here, cut it here, make a new piece, weld it back in and drill back all the holes to attach the wheelhouse. So that's an option. The aluminum itself, it's a little bit corroded, but I don't think that's a problem. When I seal it back up, make sure that no moisture is coming there, it probably will be fine. Of course, a lot of you guys are going to say, no, you have to do it right. Get the wheelhouse off, the top of the wheelhouse off, and do everything. I understand. And you're probably right, but I got so much work and there is not a lot that goes into the wheelhouse. I can make it so that I can separate the two later really easily, but that's a gamble. So my microphone decided to fall off. Really difficult, I have to think about it. One thing that needs to be done is the steel needs to be perfect, because if everything is in, I can't get it out so easily. I can reach the bolts here, the bolts and the nuts. This is the nut and the bolt is on the other side. I know, but I can reach them really easily. So if there's something here that I can remove, I can reach the bolts and then that will be fine. And I can lift the wheelhouse. It's another story on the dash, but I have to think about that. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. So I have to think about this. Another thing. Insulation. Not isolation, insulation. Lot of good comments about it. Sprayed on cork. I think it's called cork. Cork. That's a good idea. But another guy said spray foam. And I think I'm really going to consider spray foaming the wheelhouse because it's attached to the steel. If I fix this all, it will be really good. I saw a YouTube channel that a lot of you probably know, Sailing Vessel Dallas. They are building an aluminum catamaran and they spray foamed all the insulation and it looks really good, and I think that's a good way to go. Sealing, I don't know yet. Maybe spray foam, maybe I will glue the insulation to the aluminum. Don't know yet, I have to think about that. Yeah, so that's the wheelhouse. And someone commented, why don't you replace it all with wood? And that was the first idea that I had, to make a wooden top of the wheelhouse. Maybe, I don't know. It's a lot of work as well, but if I do that, then everything is done in one go. But it takes away something from the boat. So I have to really think about that. Then we got the windows. So there was a real sharp comment about 3D printing the window frames. And that was the material. So ABS is, I know what ABS is, that's a good material. So one of you commented that I have to be careful with what we're going to use for the heat in the summer, because not all the plastics can withstand the heat. So that was a good idea to think about that. So I'm going to I found someone who can 3D print this. And ABS, I don't know if he can do that, but it's a good way to go, I think. The other way I can do this is by just make it out of wood. I saw polyester. My father had a polyester factory. We made a lot of polyester boats, so I grew up with polyester, and I'm absolutely not going to use polyester. So that's out of the question. But thanks for the comment anyway, because I can understand why some people are going to use polyester, but I'm not going to. The majority of next week I will be on vacation. So if I got an episode next week, it will be a real short one. And I don't know what I'm going to do then. Probably try to remove the old boats here, get the little boat out of the water, and maybe start with removing the cargo hole. There's polyester in it and it needs to be removed because I don't know what's behind this polyester. So more surprises, yes. So that's where I'm at, ripping everything out. I'm going to take my time for this. I need to think about it, so I'm going on vacation. That's a good moment to think about it. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Leave a comment if you got a good idea or you want to say hi, because a lot of you guys doing that and I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it. I hope to see you next week. Later.